Why are you lying? We said it as I was shooting. You switch.
No one's seen a switch. Oh, you're this one.
Yeah.
That's great.
I got
Swish.
hell no. That's not a switch. That's a front rim.
Hey, that's my third in a row.
Well, that's what you said.
I get what you're saying. I totally get what you're saying. And I agree with that. Well, why not take the
probable for tomorrow, so we're in a good space. You know, obviously Thomas and Dennis had their surgery, so you know, looking forward to them getting back into the fold here in about a month or so. But at the end of the day, you know, we're pretty much intact. We're intact, and you know, Troy for sure be a welcome addition.
what phenom play you guys?
Just his size, his athleticism, his length, his ability to shoot, and he's just a young player that's got NBA games under his belt already that we're super duper excited about. And I think just his attention to detail, wanting to make sure he's in the right space, right place within the offense, and defensively him wanting to help, really wanting to help. And I think he will. Like, he's a really young, exciting player.
Coach, I know you know that it's a long season, obviously, and it's not a bed of roses the entire time. And I know it's early as well, but was there anything maybe throughout that first week, this past week, and going against those two opponents that you learned about your team?
I learned that we are competitive, and a lot more competitive than what was going on around here for various reasons last year. And that's the biggest thing for me in terms of establishing an identity, you know, just coming out irregardless of who your opponent is, but specifically against those two opponents who are at the top of the food chain. Like, I was very impressed with our competitiveness, our defense, the way we fought back to be in the game, being down and with the Clippers coming back, taking the lead. Like, stuff like that is what you look for when you're laying a foundation, the type of culture, what you want to represent, and getting us back, you know, the process that it takes to get us back to where we want to be is where those teams are currently are. I just feel good about it. Yeah, I'm disappointed we couldn't come up with a win, but at the same time, I'm not depressed, I'm not angry, because I saw the way we fought in all of the right areas.
Taking one last look back at the Clippers game, you know, Russ was having a tough shooting night to start, but also was aggressive defensively. What was the thinking in putting him back at the end? Were you kind of hoping he could catch on, or was his defense already kind of serving to show you that, like, this is the guy we want in the closing minutes of the game?
Absolutely. I mean, he defended his behind off, man. I was so proud of him. Watched film today. Had a bunch of clips of him guarding Kawhi one-on-one, keeping him in front. You know, what we call our white, fronting him on the coming up with steals, consecutively. Like it's that's what I asked of him, and that's what I preached this summer. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy, but Russ is still an elite athlete, and those are the things I'm talking about when I'm saying sacrifice. Not to take anything away necessarily, but for him to diversify his game, and he's been trying to do that. And a part of that, it includes being, above average defensively. And I think people got a clear look at that in the last game, and I'm expecting a whole lot more.
Coach, you talk about being encouraging and then, also the freedom that you allow. What does that do for a guy like Lonnie and, also Kendrick Nunn? Because, even with Lonnie, getting 21 attempts, I saw in that fourth quarter, he's making some good reads, even getting downhill in situations where he had open three. Yeah, also making some good reads.
I mean, just you put them in a position where they, again, we said we want to play fast, physical, and free. And our running habits and having guys like LeBron, AD, Russ, they're going to play basketball, and it's about, he got 21 attempts, not because he was selfish. He was just in the right spot at the right time, be aggressive, and that's what our offense does. Whoever is, again, in the right space, with the right pace, you're going to get a lot of looks. And a guy like him who likes to play downhill, he was phenomenal. I was happy for him. And K Nunn, tough shooting night, but he'll turn it around for sure. I have the utmost confidence in him. Watching him work all summer and what he was able to do in the peak season, I have all the faith in the world. K Nunn, he'll play much better.
The Warriors and the Clippers are obviously two of the bigger teams in terms of their perimeter guys and guys. How did you feel like you guys adjusted the Clippers game to?
I think we adjusted well, man. The matchups, and then Bron playing at the 5, it gives us a huge weapon, because now they have to adjust. Bron is multifaceted. There's nothing on the basketball floor that he can't do, and nothing he hasn't seen. So he makes his adjustments when we put him in that position. We call certain play calls with him as a screener, which is a whole different dynamic with a lot of these teams. Or him handling the pick and roll, and now you have a smaller player screener for him and rolling to the basket. So we do what we need to do. Our coaching staff, we put our heads together in terms of paying attention to the other team's rotation. And sometimes you can't always chase matchups. Sometimes you have to provide your matchups. It's an ultimate chess game. I'm going to chase what they're doing. Am I going to stick to my guns and play the lineup that I know is going to be effective for us? So you just have to navigate that and then just manage it as best you can.
You were in Milwaukee with a transcendent star in Giannis, who decided to re-up to stay in that market and won in the market where he started his career. Tomorrow you guys played Portland and Dame. Just as an observer of the league, what was your take on Dame re-upping to stay in Portland?
I love it. I think those smaller markets, I always think about that type of subject. I think about Reggie Miller, all of his years in Indiana. Him, and so many times, even at the end of his career where he could have jumped ship, went to a contender, 1 year, 2 year deal, whatever, he chose not to do that, just to bow out gracefully. Have the utmost respect for that. It says a lot about him as a professional, as a person, his character, just being committed and that two-way loyalty. It's been talked about in the days NBA where things don't seem that bright. You pack up your tent and you go somewhere else, but to see him have that stick-to-itiveness and the longevity and what he means to that community in Portland, and them being a small market, it's great for the league. I think we need more of that.
Back in the mic, are you hoping to play tomorrow?
Yeah, that's the plan. Everything goes good today. Wake up tomorrow feeling good. Go tomorrow. So yeah.
How excited are you about getting out there? Give these guys some more firepower?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. It's been a long time coming. Been a long couple of weeks, so I'm excited to get out there and play, bring some energy. So yeah.
How'd the back issue come up?
It was just a herniated disc. So I feel like a lot of people go through that. A lot of people have it, they just don't have symptoms. So it's just one of those things you got to figure out what's the cause of it. For me, it was more like my waist was kind of tight, getting more hip mobility and stuff like that. So once we relieved that, then my symptoms started going away.
So mostly rehab over the last several weeks. What were you doing to get back to playing status?
A lot of rehab, mostly. And then at that point, it was just ramping up and conditioning without like overdoing it to make sure the back could withstand, the running and all that. So yeah.
What's like the management of that? Is it just like the pain tolerance now, or I guess how do you?
I mean, it's just more so staying on top of the routine that we put together. Like I said, I feel like a lot of people have it. They just aren't asymptomatic about it. So then for me, like, it's just figuring out what works for me and then keeping that routine and then making sure I'm staying on top of it. So I haven't had any problems or anything. Hopefully, like, when I ramp up tomorrow, everything goes good and then we'll be good. So, yeah.
I know you take a lot of pride in your versatility, and as you kind of watch this team the first several weeks, and then obviously that first opening week, what have you kind of absorbed in terms of how you can help?
Defensively, just plugging in gaps, using my length. Like I see a lot of guys driving like through the nail, just like being at that nail, being able to stunt, give guys like a quick second just to get back in front off the pick and rolls. Even on the X outs on the back sides, like just being able to play that and force teams to make those hang passes to buy us more time to get into sets. I feel like a lot of guys are like driving and penetrating, and then we don't have a lot of length to recover. So that's the biggest thing for me defensively, and then offensively, just being able to create, being able to make plays for others, and then obviously being able to shoot it. So, yeah.
This summer, I saw you pretty much at every single gym. You were coming from here all the way to the Valley. How does your body feel even throughout the injury? Because you were already ready to go 2-a-days every day. How are you feeling right now?
No, I feel good. I feel like that was the biggest thing that like hurt me mentally, just dealing with the injury. Was I had a big summer, just locking in, just trying to make sure I come in and be a guy that can be reliable, somebody that can take care of business every night. So a little minor setback for a major comeback hopefully. So yeah, just keeping my head on straight and just staying locked in. So.
Has Darvin talked to you a bunch about your role? And kind of did that shift with the injury at all, or is it kind of what you guys had previously discussed?
I feel like it's still what we previously discussed. I feel like obviously like me being able to be like sit back and watch and spectate a little bit, I can see what we kind of need help on and stuff like that, so I can make my adjustments. But I feel like overall, me and him have a good understanding. He kind of knows my game and how I play, and I know what he wants from me. So yeah.
How have you seen the spirit of the group approaching tomorrow's game? Have they shaken off the first two games, and what do you think the focus level is?
I think it's one day at a time. I think that's the biggest thing, is just us moving on day to day. Wins and losses comes, long season. And if you worry about what happened yesterday, you can't get to the next day, So that's the biggest thing for us, is we're still learning. It's funny because I feel like a lot of people don't realize we're a brand new team. We start to get to know each other and, still putting in plays and all that stuff. So, it's a long season. We just got to stick with it no matter what. So yeah.
What have you been encouraged by?
Energy. Whenever we compete, I feel like we keep up with anybody. Like, you look at our 3-point percentage from last game, we didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but it was still a very close game. I feel like we knocked down a couple more shots, we won that game. So just the biggest thing is just, like I said, keeping our head on straight and just making sure that every day we stay positive and keep on pushing forward, because we never know when we can make that jump into being an elite team.
When it comes to this roster, specific to this team, when you think of how you can get those looks, has it maybe forced you to kind of get your reps differently? Maybe those catch and shoot threes, as well as obviously your ability to create.
I mean, I feel like for me, just with the versatility, I have to work on everything. That's just what it is. Obviously, with certain stuff, you watch the game, you're like, okay, we do need some more catch and shooting, we need a little more penetrating and kick and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you got to play your game and be able to. For me, being able to plug in those spots wherever it is, whether I'm playing in pick and rolls, hitting picks with Braun, whether I'm going in 4-man, whether I'm driving and kicking, it's just I got to be able to be ready to be that Swiss Army knife for the team. So